As the army of the dead overruns the northern fortress, Lone Wolf fights desperately to stay alive. But as the numbers of the dead seem endless, the brave lord falls back into the fortress, realizing he may have bitten off more than he can chew. Meanwhile, Elena Dragon circles her dragons around the fortress of fire, ready to launch her own attack. But her closest advisor warns her that this could be a trap. Will Elena heed his warning or charge forward anyway? And what is Queen Selene planning by sending a secret messenger to the beleaguered Lauren? Find out in today's episode. The Mystery of the Hidden Crown. Episode 18, The Northern Horde, begins with a massive snowstorm raging outside the walls of the northern fortress. Within the fortress, men desperately fire arrows at the endless horde of the dead that shamble toward the wall. One man, they won't stop coming. We're losing too many men. Second man, I've never seen anything like this. Where do they all come from? A third man fires his crossbow, then turns to see flaming catapults launching projectiles over the top of the wall. He yells for them to hurry up. Third man, hurry up. They're coming over the wall. As several figures scale the wall, a soldier yells out for archers. Fourth man, archers. We need archers here. Now. Suddenly, the catapult projectiles land within the horde, causing several of the dead to burst into flames. Still, more figures scale the wall and rush toward the soldiers. Outside the fortress, a man rides a horse through the blizzard, urging it faster. As he reaches the wall, he sees soldiers struggling against the horde. He quickly dismounts and rushes toward them, yelling, "Hold the line! Hold the line! They are coming!" Overwhelmed, the soldier screams for help. Suddenly, the man swings his sword and cuts the head off a figure trying to grab the soldier. Still, two more figures rush toward him, yelling, "We'll make a fortress out of your bones." He cuts them both down. The soldier thanks him, but the man tells him there are too many and he needs to get inside. Once the gate is closed behind them, the man, who is revealed to be Lone Wolf, turns to see another horde forming outside the wall. He roars, "Gods damn the dead! Let's go rally the others." Meanwhile, atop the fortress of fire, Elena Dragon watches as her dragons circle in the sky above the battlefield. Her advisor stands beside her on the balcony, looking out at the snowstorm raging across the land. "Advisor, the armies of the north fight bravely, but their numbers are few. Soon, the whole army of the dead will be upon them." "Elena, and then what?" "Advisor, then my queen will have her chance. With the north overrun, she will launch her attack." "Elena, yes. My dragons hunger for war as much as I do, but should I send them north or wait?" "Advisor, wait for what? Your dragons could win the day before the horde even reaches the walls." "Elena, patience is a virtue, but so is boldness. I want all the power in my hands before I strike." "Advisor, as you wish, my queen, but you must know that if your dragons fall, so will your claim to the throne." "Elena, then I must risk everything. Only fire can kill the darkness. Only my dragons can win this war." She stares out at the battlefield where the faint glow of flaming catapults can be seen. Then she turns to her advisor, a cold smile on her face. "Elena, send word to the others. I want every dragon rider in the air when the signal flares burn." She turns away, her eyes fixed on the distant battle. "Elena, the north may fall, but the south will rise in flames." Meanwhile, within the capital, King Adrian sits on his throne as a messenger staggers into the room. Kneeling before him, the messenger says, "Your Majesty, the north bleeds. Send reinforcements or the whole kingdom is lost." "Adrian, let the wolves freeze. What do I gain by sending my men?" "A grateful Queen Selene, perhaps." "Ha ha." He laughs cruelly, glancing at the nobles standing before him. One noble asks, "But surely the army of the dead would come after us too." Another nobleman says, "My king, the people look to you for leadership. If the north falls, the army of the dead will march right through the mountains. We cannot hide from our duty." "Adrian, duty? Yes, I forgot I had one." He stands from his throne and slowly walks toward the window, staring out at the capital. Adrian, you are right. The army of the dead must be stopped, but I am not so sure they are a threat worth facing. He turns back to the nobles, a cruel smile on his face. Adrian, there is no reason to send my men to die. After all, who would challenge me for the crown if all my loyal subjects were dead? The nobles gasp in horror as they realize that the king intends to let the army of the dead wipe out the competition. In a secret chamber within the castle, Queen Selene removes a golden ring from her hand and places it in a velvet pouch along with a sealed letter. She summons her handmaiden and gives her the pouch. Selene, take this to Lauren Wolf. Tell him I am with him. Tell him he does not fight alone. Handmaiden, but your majesty, what if Adrian finds out? Selene, if Adrian finds out, then I will already be dead. The handmaiden bows and rushes out of the room. Selene collapses onto a nearby chair, her eyes fixed on the floor. She whispers, forgive me, my love. It was either this or let Adrian take the throne. Meanwhile, outside the northern fortress, Lauren battles against the horde, cutting down the undead left and right. A soldier runs up to him, screaming, they don't die, they just rise again. We can't win, Lauren. Then we cut them down until there's nothing left to raise. Suddenly, a horn blares eerily across the battlefield. Startled, Lauren turns to see a massive shape stepping from the snowstorm. Lauren, what is that? Soldier, I don't know. It's coming this way. As the creature gets closer, they realize it is a giant beast made of rotting flesh and bone. Soldier, run! Yelling, Alansi! Lauren charges toward the beast, swinging his sword. Back at the fortress, Elena Dragon watches as her dragons soar in the sky above. She asks her advisor if he sees anything. Advisor, nothing yet. Perhaps the northern fortress still stands. Elena, or perhaps the dead have breached the walls. This game is almost as fun as the real thing. She paces back and forth across the balcony, then suddenly stops and turns to her advisor. Elena, send word to Morzin. He is to lead his forces south when the signal flares burn. Advisor, as you wish, Elena, and tell the healers to have the wards prepared. We will need all the magic we can get. Advisor, very well, my queen. Suddenly, the ground trembles beneath their feet. Elena and her advisor rush to the railing and stare out at the battlefield. In the distance, they see the great undead beast slam into the northern fortress, causing the walls to collapse. Elena, so the real war has begun. As the screen fades to black, we hear the sound of thunder rumbling across the sky along with the faint roar of dragons. What will happen now that the true leader of the army of the dead has arrived? Will Elena throw her hat in the ring and try to save the North? Or will she bide her time and strike when the moment is right? Find out next time on The Mystery of the Hidden Crown. Thanks for watching. See you next time.